want to make that point. I've had several complaints from neighbors that they've raised it up and it's still not on the engineering team's report for being paved. So before I get into So tonight, I wrote my comments here based off of what I had seen from the last town council meeting for what was posted on YouTube. Fortunately, I wasn't able to stay the entire time as I had to watch my 5-year-old daughter that night. So while I appreciate comments as well, attending state legislature meetings, as with Linda, that's not always possible for all of us. But at the same time, that is also why we elect a town council and a mayor to be the voice for us at those meetings. Thank you. So I'd like to cover 3 items tonight. So the first being the analysis that was performed to assess the impact of Pine Plaza and River Park developments. Next, transparency and what information is made available to the public. And then lastly, how the pilot dollars will be spent, which Linda had touched on as well. So first, in my opinion, there appears to be a lack of due diligence on quantifying the impact of these developments on our infrastructure and services. There also appears to be a lack of plan to maintain our current quality of life without significant tax increases. At the last town council meeting, several people asked about the traffic, and there wasn't one helpful response on the matter. Has a pro forma financial analysis been completed on these developments to determine the financial impact on our town? Has a feasibility study been completed to determine the impact on infrastructure and services? If so, are you able to share these and add transparency to the matter? Which leads me to the matter of transparency, or the lack thereof. And while I greatly appreciate the posting of agendas, minutes, automated alerts, and having the town council meeting on YouTube, which if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to catch up on everything. So that itself does not make something transparent. Transparent also means easily understood or easy to perceive or detect. As an example, Mayor, you posted on Facebook, and this is a quote, "Hanover is not accepting pilot programs. We want our schools to share in any tax income." This post was all the while Hanover Township already has a pilot development in place with the Saddlebrook development and already signed pilot agreements for River Park and Pine Plaza. This raises the question of transparency.
I dispute that quote, sir.
I appreciate it. If I can finish my comments.
Quote, I am not personally favoring pilot programs.
I'm just quoting exactly what's on Facebook. And as far as signed pilot agreements being in place, I was basing that off of comments from our township attorney at the last town council, which, going back to transparency, sounds like pilot programs might not be in place. So are they in place or are they not in place? At the last town council meeting, our township attorney said the entire development, except for the commercial portion of River Park, was going to be pilot. So tonight I heard the pilot agreement hasn't been signed. It goes back to, again, transparency. So while I received my alert earlier in the week notifying me that the town is being transparent, the actions and actual information being shared seems to indicate otherwise. Which leads me to, with a lack of further analysis or insight from our town council, I'm left to derive my own assumptions on the matter, such as how many students will enter our school system from these developments. For example, the Saddlebrook Court pilot development has 78 units and approximately 42 students, or a ratio of 0.4 per students per unit. However, if you look at the total ratio for all multifamily housing developments in Hanover Township, the ratio is only 0.3 units, as you noted earlier. Again, with the lack of any public analysis or additional transparency, I'm left to extrapolate those figures to River Park and Pine Plaza and see we would potentially have 150 to 600 new students entering our school system for just River Park and Pine Plaza. Again, to share my own transparency, this is a very top-level analysis that did not get into the number of affordable housing units per development or number of bedrooms in those developments. Lastly, and most importantly for me, I'm here tonight as a father of a 5-year-old girl who moved here to Hanover Township with optimism that this is the place where I would raise my daughter and spend the rest of my life. I have no special interest in this matter other than my precious daughter and ensuring she is raised in a town where she has the opportunity to grow and develop as its past students and residents have done over the years. I do, however, have a vested interest in this matter for the next 13 years as my daughter will progress through the public school system. More importantly, my daughter has a vested interest in the matter for the rest of her life, as the education she receives today will forever have an impact on her. Considering these are pilot programs, again basing it off of comments at the last town council meeting, we are looking at a significant increase in the number of students in our school system. I have serious concerns that the residents of Hanover Township will be the ones that ultimately foot the tax bill. I'm truly disheartened by the fact that our town representatives have yet to make a public commitment to ensuring sufficient pilot dollars will be dedicated to our public school system and ensuring our children have the same opportunity to grow and develop as its past students. I ask you tonight, are you ready to make a public commitment to ensuring sufficient pilot dollars, or tax dollars, are dedicated to our school system, ensuring our students have the same resources and class sizes as they do today? To further this, are you ready to make this commitment while also committing to cap our local tax increase to no more than 3% per year for the next 30 years, just as you have given these pilots, these developers who stand to make millions on these developments? That's all I have.
Would you like answers or